Welcome viewers, or welcome back to anyone that's subscribed. We're going to be very close. I'm watching this bottom mirror here to that door, and here, yeah, we got heaps of room. We got lots of room. What do we got? 841 kilometers to go. We're going to today, I may have to do it in two parts. It's not going to be two different videos, but this will only record for about 25-ish minutes, 25, maybe 30 tops, before it cuts its battery out. So if it goes longer than 25 minutes, I'll have to just stop it, put it on charge, and then do the second half of the story. Only because I feel like this one could run a little long. So sit down. Obviously, this is a start. I don't know how long this is going to last, but make sure you're comfortable, because it's going to be a long one. We're going to turn right out here. Sometimes you get lucky and you get straight out, and sometimes you have to wait. We may get lucky to fit in that brake right up there after that rigid truck. No, because the lights have just changed down here. Oh, are we? Nah, if they weren't going so fast. But then there's another little break after old mate back there. Anyway, today's story, why I quit toll. Now, I didn't leave, I actually quit. Yeah, depends on how you want to look at it. I handed in my resignation, gave my 2 weeks notice. Can I fit after? No. Come on, there's nothing coming this way. I'm going after this grey one. Come on, mate. Why I quit toll. Now, this is just a PSA, public service announcement. I'm not trying to shame toll as a company. There's not very, but there's a lot of different branches within toll. I only worked at one of them. They are no longer called toll, so use that knowledge with how you like. They are they're a global express company, if that sort of ticks any boxes of anyone. Anyway, we're going to go way back here, way back to when I first started. I got a job because I knew the supervisor there. I knew the supervisor, he was night shift supervisor, and someone working night shift with him, who was also, you know, like the truck driver, talking about leaving, I'm leaving, I've got an interview. So he's like, well, he just put it up, he actually just chucked it up on Facebook. He said, look, I know it's hard to find people that want to work night shift and people that actually want to people want to work. So he said, is anyone out there interested in coming on? And he's the same as me. He doesn't like to put someone forward unless he trusts them, he knows them, because you put someone's name forward and then all of a sudden they don't work out. We're not talking about the new guy that's shit, we're talking about the guy that gave him a reference. You say, well, your fucking mate, your mate was fucking hopeless. So anyway, he said, yeah, I'll put a word in for you. So anyway, got me resume ready, went and got it done, and got to start on night shift. Now, at the time, the guy that I was going to replace had 2 weeks holidays, and he was talking about leaving, and he got a job somewhere else and all that. Anyway, long story short to that, it fell through. So he's like, no, I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to stay working on nights. So I was like, well, where does that leave me? Well, I was coming to replace him. So anyway, they said, well, we'll give you a job working days. So, okay, yep, that's fine. I was happy enough with that. Didn't get to work with me mate, but I accepted the job. Oh, I thought he was going to go, and I think he thought he was going to go. Anyway, everything was going like pretty good. Like everything was going sweet. I think probably it would have been over 2 years on day shift, and I was having a good time. Everything was sweet, and the guy that I was going to replace on night shift, he actually puts his notice in this time. He's like, yeah, I've got another job, and yeah, I'm going to do something else. So I went straight to the management, and I just said, hey, I'm putting my hand up. I like night work. I would prefer night work over day work. Can I have his job? And they're like, oh, but you know, we really don't want you to leave off day shift, because I did everything. I did more than I needed to on day shift too. Filling in, and like whenever someone else was off, you know, you'd fill in, and like that, I was all trained up. I knew what I needed to do. And then they said, well, look, bottom line, you're going to be able to, you'll know what you need to do on night shift, so it's going to be easier to find someone to work days than someone to work nights. So if you go to nights, we just need to find another person to work days. They said, yeah, okay. So anyway, yeah, we do the swap over. 2 weeks to go. He hands his notice in. They get a casual guy in to work with me for a week, and sort of showed him what to do, and like the main places you go to, and tried to teach him what I could in 1 week. And he's replaced me during the days, and I've gone to replace the other fella during the nights. Watch this taxi here. In the left here. I'm going to get over because that left lane ends. Couldn't just wait an extra 10 seconds. I'm not upset about it. But you just know what's going to happen. If I stayed in that lane, he would have gotten to the right lane, just overtake. No indicator. You'd want to do something in this grey one. Yeah, so I've gone on to night shift. Back with me mate. And I was like, yeah, boy. So we're having a great time. We're having the time of our lives. And it wasn't that long. It was maybe, I don't know, three months maybe. And he's like, Shane, come over here. I've got to tell you something. I was like, what's up, mate? What's up? He's like, I'm leaving. You're what? What do you mean you're leaving? This is a supervisor. He's like, yeah, I'm leaving. You know, him and his missus, they had a kid. First time baby. So they've gone and had a kid. It's too hard. She was struggling a little bit. She wanted him home. He couldn't get to sleep, like he's working shift work. Anyone has done it, working shift workers, the struggles at times. You can come home, you're dead tired, you're fucking like a zombie walking through that front door. You've still got 2 days of the week left, and you lay down in the middle of the day and you just can't get to sleep. It's a struggle sometimes. But, I fucking love night work. I prefer driving at night as well. Like, you don't have all this shit that you deal with through the day. But, he's like, look, man, I'm going to have to put me notice in. And, just letting you know, I've already got another job lined up. So I was like, oh, well, fuck yeah, like, I'm happy for you. You've got something else lined up, that's good. So, as soon as he hands his notice in, management comes straight to me. Shane, we want you to be the supervisor, night shift supervisor. And I was like, okay. And sort of didn't think too much of it. He handed his notice in. 4 weeks. 4 weeks notice. So he's like, I'm here for another 4 weeks. I'll show you everything that I do that you don't already know, so that when he goes, I know what to do. Working side of it, it was fine, because he wants to get over. Are you going to sit right there on his fucking triaxle? You stupid fucking idiot. I can see his indicator, why can't you see it? Is this guy going to speed up too? Just do it, move over, mate. Just force your way over. So we want you to be supervisor. Worker-wise, he was a worker. He'd get in, he'd help, he'd do all the work. He knew what he would needed to do, but it was like all the paperwork side of stuff. Now, that sort of stuff doesn't really excite me, but I know how to do it. Paperwork and all that sort of shit, it doesn't bother me. But, I couldn't do it 8 hours a fucking day, no way. Not my fucking thing. Anyway, so it's like reporting, and you got to send bloody reports back to head offices in Sydney and Melbourne, and what time trucks leave and arrive, and freight weights and all this sort of stuff. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's sweet. He showed me, and it was like the first week he showed me, second week he just said, you do it, but I'm just going to be standing over your shoulder watching you, I'll help you out. And by the 4th week I knew what I was doing. So anyway, comes a time where excuse me, he's leaving, and then I was like, so what's happening next week? So I was like, well, I better go, like, before I finish work in the morning, I better go and ask the boss what's happening next week. So I've waited for him to come in at 6 o'clock or whatever time it was, 6:37, I can't remember. But I go into the boss and I'm like, mate, what's going on next week? He says, well, what do you mean? I said, well, Dave's leaving. Are we getting someone to replace him? He said, yeah, you. I said, so who's replacing me? He said, oh, well, what do you mean? I said, well, it's, at the moment, there's 4 people. We lose one, that's 3 people. He's, oh, well, yeah, we're going to have to, yeah, we'll look into getting someone else for you. I said, oh, okay. Okay. I'm only here to do my job, you can only do so much. But, yeah, anyway, then I was like, well, he unlocks the shed and all that, like, do I have to do that as well? Oh, yeah, didn't he show you that? And I was like, well, no, because I start at midnight and he starts at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So, well, yeah, you need to start coming at 10:30 or 11 o'clock then. Whatever time he was coming in, you need to start coming in. said, I think there's a whole lot of stuff that hasn't been discussed here. How do I get in the shed? He's like, oh, well, you're going to have to get his key. I said, oh, okay, well, I better get it then. I'm ready to go home. It's Friday. I'm ready to go home. He's leaving. So he said, yeah, you go and get his key. So I went and got his key. That's probably made it super hard for you to see because that's just smeared the water. Until we've wiped it a few times. What if I just wash it? That's a little bit better. Till them wiper blades get a bit sort of moist. They just sort of smear the water. They don't actually wipe it off. But anyway, so he's like, oh yeah, well, I've got to tell you as well how to turn the alarm off. Oh my God, why haven't we discussed this the past 4 weeks? But anyway, he's like, oh yeah, you know, like you're gonna ring this number and they do it remotely. There's no actual keypad. I was like, oh, okay. So when you get in, you've got to unlock the gate, then you've got to go to the door and the security will turn the alarm off and buzz the door so it opens up. And I was like, so this key only does the gate. This key doesn't unlock the shed. He's like, no, you've got to have the security open the shed. Oh, right, okay. I'm just watching because I reckon he's going to want to go here. No, not yet at least anyway. But, okay, so all is fine. And come in on Sunday night, or the following, if you want to say, the Monday shift. And it's just me and 2 other guys. Keep in mind, they have been working the same shift, night shift, together for, I think one had been there for 15 years and the other one had been there for about 12. They were like this. I mean, if they both didn't have missuses, you'd think they'd fucking gay together. They worked together 5 days a week and then they hung out with each other on the 2 days that they didn't work together. It's like they were fucking joined at the hip. I'm sure we all know people like that. Anyway, so it was just me and the 2 guys. And we fucking struggled. We struggled big time. Because there's 3 of us on a 4-person shift. Why the fuck are we going 65 kilometers an hour? I think old mate's fucking just loaded up to the hill. And that wasn't even much of a hill. Do we get around him? There wasn't so much traffic, I'd be able to move out. But, yeah, so we struggled. Anyway, it was like a week and a half in. I was like, nah, fuck this. Waited till the morning, same thing. I did all my reporting at the end of the shift. Sent all the emails and then went and saw the boss. And I was like, when are we getting someone else to help us, man? This is fucked. Like, someone's going to end up getting hurt. And I was smart about it. I was like, so if you mention someone getting hurt or something unsafe, like, there's no outs for it. Someone's going to end up getting hurt. Why? What do you mean? How's someone going to get hurt? I said, well, you're asking 3 people to do the work of 4 people. Oh, we're rushing around. Oh, no, I don't want you to rush around. I said, well, look, you need someone else. It's that simple. And it was like another... Fuck, man. Like, without lying to you, I reckon it was another 2 months where it was just nothing's happening. We didn't get anyone else. And I didn't want to say to the other 2 fellas, I didn't want, like, okay, I did want to say, look, we need to all fucking go in there together, but they were like, no, we're not doing anything, we don't want to say anything. Like, you fucking pussies, you fucking 2 bunch of fucking little pussies. Why have I got to say everything? Why don't if all three of us say something, or just walk in with me. You don't need to say anything, just come on, we're going. So I got him to come in with me. And I said, look, we're overworked here. We're not asking for more pay. We're not asking for, all we're asking for is that someone else comes onto the shift to help us out, because it's a 4-person shift. If you needed someone else to work through the day, you'd have someone else. There's no drama. But because no one cares about night shift, it's like, who fucking cares? It's only night shift. So anyway, that was that. And I said, oh, thanks for coming in, fellas. And they've walked out pretty much holding hands. And I stayed in there. And I said, look, I didn't want to say anything in front of them, but we need to have a talk about my pay. Oh, okay, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm doing all this supervisor stuff. Like, no one's came in to replace me. I've replaced Dave. I'm doing his extra stuff. I'm doing all this supervisor stuff, and I ain't getting paid any extra. You want me to do the supervisor? Well, I need to be paid as a supervisor. Oh, okay, yeah. So anyway, he said, oh, I'll get something written up for you. I said, well, we need to have someone else here. I said, before we talk about even paying me anything extra, I want someone else here, because we need an extra person. Okay, well, I'll look into that first. So the next day he comes in and says, Shane, when you finish, come over here. So I go over to him and he's like, I've got this thing written up for you. It's a contract for the supervisor. Oh, okay. Anyway, he says, just sign down the bottom there. I said, no, I want to read it first. I want to have a read of it. And he's like, well, sit down. I said, no, I've already clocked off. I was walking out to my car. So I've already clocked off. I'll take this home. I said, it's taken you 3 months to get this to me. I said, one extra day isn't going to be, you know, the end of the world. I'll take it home, have a read of it, and I'll let you know tomorrow. Go home, read it. I might as well use it as toilet paper. It was fucking shit. It was crap. Go in the next day and see the boss. When he comes in, I say, mate, you're not serious with this, are you? He says, yeah, well, what do you mean? I said, well, that's what you're offering me is less than what I'm getting paid now. Oh, no, it wouldn't be. I said, well, it is. And the reality of it, it was literally $10,000 less pay than what I was currently getting paid as just a worker. I don't know how they fucking swindled that. I rang my mate and I was like, mate, I don't like talking money with people and it's none of my business, but were you getting paid this amount, X amount? And he's like, yeah, I was on a salary. I said, they've just offered me that. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, oh, good. I said, well, I just want to tell you, that's 10 grand less than what we're on. Because he was getting paid a salary rate, but he was getting paid, it was some bullshit thing. And it was like the base rate of day shift plus 20%. Because he works nights. And I was like, but night rate, I think we're getting paid a 30% loading. So we're getting paid 30% extra for working nights, and he was only getting 20%. And I was like, man, they fucked you right over. Anyway, all that aside, this was while I was talking to the boss. I said, man, $10,000 less. I said, I don't know about this monthly thing. So, oh yeah, it's a salary, so you're paid monthly. Fuck that. I said, I want a paycheck every week. I don't want to be paid once a month. I said, even fortnightly would be fine, but not once a month. No, thank you. And he's like, oh, well, we can look into getting paid fortnightly, but they do all the salaries, all salary people, they get paid monthly. And I was like, nah, I'm not, that doesn't interest me at all. Plus being paid less. And he's like, oh, but you get holiday pay and you get sick pay. Keep that in mind. I said, I'm already full-time. And he's like, I thought you were casual. I said, no, I've been full-time for 2 years. Well, I did me initial casual like time, and I've been full-time for over 2 years. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. So I was like, you can't lure me in with, you know, holiday and sick pay because I'm already full-time. So I said, you'd asked me to take a pay cut. Oh, we'll give you a company phone. I said, I don't care about a company phone. I said, I don't want people ringing me. I'll go home. I said, as soon as I work night shift, when I get home, I turn my phone off. So I don't want people ringing me through the day because they don't know how to do something. And I don't know what they're doing up here. They must be fucking weed spraying or something. So I've said to him, no, not interested, thank you very much, but that's not for me. He's like, oh, well, I'll see what I can get done for you. Look at these stupid fucking idiots in the left lane. Can't you see the shit in front of you? Clearly they can't, or they're just too dumb to fucking care. Yeah, anyway, it was, I don't know, like a week later, gone back to him, and I've like, honestly, where is this other person? Like, it's been like 4 months now where we have not had someone working with us to replace me. He's just bloody blown out a tyre. Pulled up on the emergency thing, all in the dirt. He's had a breakdown. What the fuck is going on today? So he's like, well, you need to let me know about whether you're going to take the supervisor job or not. I said, if it's with that contract that you showed me, no, I am not interested. I'm not taking a pay cut, not a chance. You want me to do more work, there's more responsibility, and take a pay cut? I said, no one in the world would do that. Says, oh, well, we're going to have to look for another supervisor. I said, do that, but you need to find someone. It was like a week and a half later. So we're getting up, we're 4 months easily at this point, you know, without replacing essentially me or the super. We haven't replaced someone. And he calls me into the office before I leave, and he's like, Shane, I've got someone starting next week. I was like, okay, good, thank you. He's like, but I want you to be open with it. I want you to give him a go. Me give him a go? What do you mean? He's like, well, you're still doing all of this emailing and all that. You're going to have to teach them what to do. I said, well, okay, I've got no drama with that. But once you're up to speed, that's all them. Well, I haven't been paid 1 extra cent for doing what I've been doing for the past 4 months. I'm not going to get paid anything extra for teaching them in the first 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I'm not getting paid anything extra. He's like, well, I don't get paid extra when I teach yous. I was like, you're already getting paid extra. You're the site manager. You're getting paid a lot extra more than me. Being a site manager, that's part of what your job entails. I'm a worker. I ain't paid, my job title isn't manager. I don't manage people. Yet here we are. So he didn't really have much to say to that. But I knew he agreed with what I was saying. To have his tarp back. Okay, so that's beeping at me. We're going to have to come back when I've got a fully charged thing. This thing's going to go for over an hour. Okay, we'll come back later. Alright, part 2. Yeah, had to charge this up in the little thing. So I think I was talking about, he'd said that he's got someone else starting and he needs me to train them up. And I was like, well look, everyone starts from somewhere. Someone had to teach me what to do. So, okay, it's only, you know, warranted that, you know, whoever knows what to do tells them what to do. But I've never really been in a job where, look, I don't like to be, act like a bossy fucking idiot. I don't tell people what to do. I'm not going to go out and say, oh, I want you to do this, when I wouldn't do it myself. What the hell's going on here? Yeah, northbound is just before the weighbridge, left lane shut, a bit of a bingle, police and fireys on site.
Hey buddy.
What was I saying? Yeah, so anyway, it's the following Sunday. Oh, sorry, no, so the Friday before this person's supposed to start, he comes up to me and goes, so I'm going to come in and I'll just introduce you, like when, you know, on Sunday night or / Monday morning. I said, okay, yep, no worries. See you on Sunday night. And good. Weighbridge shut. That's what we like to see. So he comes in and he has a female with him. Now, before anyone says, oh, you're a chauvinist, Shane, or you're fucking sexist, some bullshit. I couldn't give a shit what any person is. If you are a 9-year-old Asian lesbian girl, but you know how to do the job, I will respect you as your job title.
Right, crash test before the barbecue, fellas.
Alright, we'll turn that off. We don't need to hear about it, we've already passed it. But he comes over and introduces me and he says, Shane, this is Leah. Leah, this is Shane. He's going to show you what to do. Shane, take it easy on her because she hasn't been in the industry before. She's only just gone and got her forklift ticket. So just take it slow with her. And I thought, well, I'm just going to show you how I do my things. Because that's how it needs to be done. We don't work slow here. Like, you do it at a reasonable pace to get it done in a reasonable time. You work slow, it's going to take too long. Anyway, so I pretty much just said to her, I said, look, best thing to do, especially for tonight, and then, oh, he's pretty much just gone. See you later, guys. Okay, well, she could have just come. Anyway, I said, best thing to do, stand back and just watch what we do on the forklifts for starters. Just watch what I do. I'm not going to say unload the trucks. I'm not going to say reload the trucks. Just stand out of the way, because that's what you need to do in most cases. Get the fuck out of the way. But just watch and take note, and then I'll explain. Okay, I'm pulling this one off and I'm putting it there because that's going on to a different truck that's not here yet, and then this is going here. We're leaving this one here because that's our freight. She was totally bewildered. She had no fucking idea. A couple hours later, she's like, "Oh, I'm so tired. How do you get through the night?" I was like, "Well, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you fucking struggle. But it's something that you do get used to." But I was like, "Look, once you've been doing it for a few weeks, you'll be fine." And anyway, then she's like, "I'm going to go outside for a smoke." Righto. This happened, and this is like the first night. Would have been 5 or 6 times easy. First shift, and you're like, "I'm just going to go outside for a smoke." You haven't done anything. You're supposed to just watch, observe, stay out of the way, try and take note, and I'll explain as we're doing things. And you're disappearing outside going for a smoke. How are you going to fucking learn anything? So I gave it like a week. I go to the boss. She ain't going to work. You know, I don't care what industry you work in, whether it's fast food, customer service, transport logistics, it could be fucking working in a fucking manufacturing line, absolutely anything. As a fucking doctor, you know, when you've been there for a while, when someone else new starts, whether they are going to be able to do it or not, whether they're good enough. And I just said, she ain't good enough. She's fucking hopeless. She's fucking shit. She gets on the forklifts and she doesn't even know how to operate a forklift. I was like, once upon a time, I didn't know how to operate a forklift, but I've got better. She hasn't got better. Yes, it's only been 1 week, but she is beyond fucking slow. Like, okay, anyone that's operated a forklift will know this. That's just like, okay, we'll do this. Anyone that's operated a forklift will know that most forklifts have got like that little knob on it, so you can turn it like this. Or I don't know if you can see, you can turn it like that, because the forklift tires will turn quicker and further than like a car. You turn usually from the back. Turning with the right hand. Anyone that's driven a forklift before, operated a forklift, will know. You don't use your right hand. And I told her that. Stop using your right hand. Oh, but I'm right-handed. What side are the controls on to lift the mast, do all the things? Oh, they're on the right. So that's why you need your left hand there, so you can use the controls with your right hand. That'd be like me driving with my left hand and I want to change gears. But how do I do it? Make sure your right hand's always on the steering wheel, because your left hand needs to be able to change gears. This is basic stuff that they should teach you when you get your license. But anyway, even just dumb things like, oh, but they told me when you're going up or down, you need to stop, pull the handbrake on, and then go up. No! That's not how you do it. Technically, if you want to be the safest person in the world, but no! If you want to get these trucks moving, we want to get you out of here, because you've still got to go another 600 kilometers down the road. What do? You've got to be moving around and going up and down and moving shit and dropping stuff off all at the same time. Can't be going at 1 kilometer an hour. Anyway, I said on top of that, she's just not capable of doing all this stuff. She's fucking hopeless. And he's like, oh, you just got to give it a bit of time, Shane. Give her a chance. Anyway, goes on. And this was, it's probably 3 months in. We had a new, like a new area manager. I think he was based in Ballina or Lismore somewhere, right up the top of New South Wales. But he covered all of the north coast of New South Wales down to Newcastle, including Newcastle. Because then Sydney was owned by its own person, then it was like the south coast, and then there was one that covered all just inland New South Wales. So he went from Ballina or Lismore, whatever one he was stationed at up there, all the way down to Newcastle. So he was like, he came down one day, just wants to see the operations, wants to see how everything happens. He spent the day in Newcastle, and he said, okay, well, I'm leaving here at 3 o'clock or whatever. I'm going to be back to look at night shift. see what happens at night time. So we got the heads up. Thought, okay, well, this guy, he's a fucking suit, okay? He's going to be coming in. He's going to be wearing his little fucking alligator fucking shoes. He's going to be wearing a fucking, probably a suit and tie, and a fucking, he'll have a safety vest on. It'll still be that fucking new. It'll still be, you can still see where it's been folded inside the fucking plastic wrapper that he's pulled it out of. This guy's going to be a fucking, just a suit walking around, probably with a clipboard, just taking notes. He won't want to be here all fucking shift. Tell him what he wants to hear, and then he'll fuck off. He'll go. So he comes in, and he's just watching how we do things. And one of the other truck drivers gets out of their truck and starts helping unload, because we don't want her on the forklift. She's too fucking slow. So he gets out and he's starting to unload himself, and he's unloading one side, I'm unloading the other side, and we're synchronized. We're watching each other, and we can see each other, and we're unloading the truck, two of us at the same time. And he's like, I know that truck driver because I've met him before. He goes all the way up to Lismore. This is really good. You know, like he's only just pulled in and he's already getting unloaded. He's going to be back out and he's going to be on the road. This is what we want. So he was looking at going, okay, well, is there anything that we can streamline better? Look, so he has more time. You know, is there anywhere we can save time? You know, we don't want him getting held up. Anyway, this fucking stupid fucking mole says, oh yeah, the guys, they're really good. You should see them. You should see them other times. You know, they set up little things on the forklifts on the floor, and they'll have races, and like when there's no trucks in here and they're waiting for the trucks, they'll have races on the forklifts. Or when it was raining, they'll go outside to get the tyres wet and come inside and they'll put the handbrake on and drift it. We did some fucking silly things on the forklifts, but no one ever got hurt. We knew what we were doing. I mean, we're having fun, but it wasn't affecting work. We weren't doing silly things when there were trucks inside. We weren't doing silly things when there was work to be done. Why in the hell, sorry, no, I shouldn't say that. Why in the fuck would you say that to someone that's the area manager of a fucking big company? Don't fucking say things like that. Oh, you should see him when other times they're fucking having forklift races. You fucking moron. What a fucking spastic wanker. Oh my God. We come in the next day, every forklift in his jurisdiction from Lismore all the way down to Newcastle has been governed from 20 kilometres an hour, which is what they used to be able to go to, down to 5, with an email going out that everyone had to sign on to saying that they're aware of things. Due to unsafe behaviour or unsafe actions, forklift speeds have been reduced to improve safety measures. Something along those lines. Why the fuck would you say anything or something like that? This got everyone offside. Like, now you've cut out our fun. Okay, so be it. But you've just cut down the speed of what we do by 3. We can go 1/4 of the speed we used to be able to. Unloading a truck, you'd move freight from here to here and go 20 kilometers an hour. Now you can go 5. That's walking distance. That's walking speed. Someone walking at 5 kilometers an hour right next to you, you're like, oh, hey, I'm on a motorized forklift, and they're just beep, 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 right next to you. So that got me really offside. I had to say something. I said, do you know why this has happened? She said, why? I said, because you couldn't keep your fucking fat mouth shut. You don't know when to shut your fucking mouth. I said, speaking of mouth, how about you stop going outside for so many fucking cigarette breaks? I'm fucking over it. Well, when the boss comes in, Shane, come over here. He'd got out of his car and he's like straight over to me. I need to talk to you before you leave today. Okay. Maybe this is about the forklift speed. Anyway, he's like, so Leah's rung me, and I was like, it's all starting to sort of make sense now. They know each other outside of work. There is no way in the world. He starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. There's no way in the world I'd be ringing someone before 6 a.m. if I didn't know them, saying, oh, someone just called me fat. They hurt my feelings. I want to get him in trouble. They knew each other outside of work. This is why she's getting away with everything for so long. You can't be calling people names, Shane. I was like, what do you mean? What are you fucking talking about? He's like, you called her name. Come up into my office. We need to talk about this out of ear's reach of anyone else. I was like, I don't care. Like, anything I say to you, I'll say in front of anyone. Like, I'm not hiding anything here. Anyways, like, come up to my office. So I go up to his office and he's like, look, we'll let this one slide. But you can't be calling people names. You can't be treating her with ill respect. You can't be swearing at her. I said, no. I didn't swear at her. I swore in context. It's just how you speak. I said, come on, Steve. You know this. I'm not walking up to you saying, fuck you. I might say in context, oh, that fucking truck last night, he was fucking late. But I'm not walking up to people just, swearing at them. I'm swearing in context to them. So he's like, no, well, you can't do that. She's a female. I was like, no, hang on. No. Let's talk about her then. He's like, we're talking about your actions. I said, well, let's talk about hers. He said, I don't see what the problem is here, Shane. He said, you've worked here for years and I've never had an issue with you. I said, until she came. She's the issue. Can't you see what's going on here, man? And he's like, no, well, she's a supervisor now. And I said, okay, she's a supervisor. I'm not doing the paperwork anymore. He's like, what do you mean? So, well, who's every fucking morning? Shane, can you come and help me with this paperwork? And I'd be fucking still doing these emails. Am I getting paid for it? No. I said, that's it. I'm done with it. She's the that's your word. She's the supervisor. He's, oh, well, she still we can't get her an email yet because she hasn't been here for 6 months. You need to be here for 6 months to be assigned a company email. And I was like, we're not using my email because I don't have one. We're using the guy that fucking left 4.5 or 6 months ago or whatever. 5.5 months ago. We're still using his email. And it says, sent from Dave, blah, blah, blah. And it's fucking Leah using it. You can't use that as an excuse. I'm not doing these emails no more. No. I said, on top of that, you need to tell her to stop having so many cigarette breaks. He goes, well, this isn't a smoke-free workplace, Shane. There's no smoking inside. I said, okay, that's fine. Every time she goes out for a cigarette, I'm going to just stand outside on my phone. He goes, why are you doing this, Shane? I said, ask her why she's doing it. You ask her. You cut her smoking out, get her to get a bit more knowledge on the forklift, and there won't be any dramas. Anyway, I stopped doing the emails. Stopped doing it, and I just said, well, I'm not helping you anymore. You've been here for fucking long enough, 2.5 months. I'm not helping you anymore. And I figured at this point, she knew I didn't fucking like her. None of the truck drivers liked her because they had to get out of the trucks and unload themselves, which previously it was always 2 people. It was me and the supervisor, or it was a supervisor and the guy that I replaced. These other 2 drongos, they were just filling in time. But so it was always 2 people. Now it's 1 person and someone that's too slow, so they have to get on the forklift themselves. They didn't care. They were like me. They do it to get themselves moving again. But when something had been so streamlined and it was working for so long, and then you throw someone into the position and it just doesn't work, and then someone's not listening, and they're looking after them because they know them outside of work, then you're saying, well, I'm not the problem here. Look a bit more in your own backyard. You put this person on. Now there's dramas. And all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, you're going to give me a written warning. So this goes on for, I don't know, it was another 5 or 6 weeks. She'd been here for like 6 months now, and I was just like, I've had it. I enjoyed the job. I had fun, and I liked the job. I enjoyed doing night shift. When I was on night shift, I'd go every night, or every morning when I finished, I'd go from there straight to the gym. I was a lot fitter than what I am now. So, I mean, I've contemplated before, you know, like thinking, do I just get a local job working nights somewhere so I can go to the gym? But I enjoy doing this too, so but yeah, so I really enjoyed it. But I was like, man, I'm starting to fucking not like coming to work. And something that you do all the time, you go to work 5 days a week between 8 and 10 or 8 and 12 hours. If you're not enjoying it, your life fucking sucks. So I was like, I'm starting to go, I'm not liking what I'm doing at the moment. So I was like, I've got to get out. Either she's got to go, or I've got to go. And so I've gone back into the boss, and I was like, look, man, I'm just not enjoying it anymore, eh? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, bottom line, one of us has got to go. I said, either get rid of her or I'm going. And he's like, I don't want either of you to leave. I said, well, one of us has got to go. I've had it. I can't do it anymore. I said, I'm being as polite as I can about it, but she has to go. He's like, I'm not gonna sack anyone. I don't want either of you to leave. So anyway, long story short, the next day I talked to the other 2 fellas, and I was like, look, I'm going to start looking for another job. I've fucking had it with her. She comes in and she's like, oh, what are you talking about? I was like, it's none of your business what we're talking about. She's like, well, it is if it's during work time. I said, no, it's not. It's not none of your business. Who the fuck you think you are? We're having a fucking conversation. It's got nothing to do with you. So I get called up to the office for saying it's none of your business. I got a written warning for telling her the conversation that me and 2 other guys, it was none of her business. He gave me a written warning. And I said, that's it, I'm done. And he said, are you, here's a copy for you. I said, oh, I don't want it. You can keep it, throw it in the bin, I don't care. And he said, oh, you just sign at the bottom of this. I said, I'm not signing that. He said, no way. He said, you need to sign it because it goes on in your file, on your record. So, I mean, if someone looks me up at toll, whatever my toll employee number was, I'll have a thing there, so I got a written warning. I did not sign it. I said, I'm not signing it because I don't agree with that. No, I don't agree what I did was wrong. I said, this is wrong. I said, I should be contacting HR, but I said, I'll do you one better. I'll go and look for another job. And that day, I just went on to Seek, threw out a heap of job applications, and I think it was like 2 days later, I got a call back about a job. Perfect thing was, because I worked night shift, they're like, when can you come in? I was like, anytime you like. I can come in and see you anytime you like, because I finish work at like 6 or 7 o'clock, and he's like, yeah, come in at like 9 o'clock. Bit inconvenient for me, because I was like, what do I do in that 2 hours? Like, ugh. But anyway, I was like, yeah, no worries. Went and talked to him, and he said, yeah, like your style, like your attitude. Didn't even have to take a truck for a drive. He just said, when can you start? And I said, 2 weeks. I'll give him 2 weeks notice. And he said, okay, perfect. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So I went home, and I don't have a printer at home. I just wrote out the most basic letter ever, saying this is my start date, this is my finish date. I'll still continue to do my duties as my you know, stated position. I didn't even say thank you for employing me and, you know, enjoyed work. I didn't write any of that. I just said, this is my name, this is what date I'm finishing. And I just said, and I wrote regards. Not kind regards, I just wrote regards, Shane. And then I went in, it was a Friday, I do remember this, because I waited till that dumb fucking fat fucker, she's gone out for one of her more smoke breaks, and I've snuck into the office. I didn't sneak in, I mean the door was open, and I've just put an envelope onto the keyboard that she worked at. Clocked out, walked out, and I walked up to her, and I just said, there's a letter for you on your keyboard. She go, and she started walking up, she's like, oh, what is it? I just walked off, I kept walking. Anyway, she's fucking straight away throwing a cigarette out in the ground, fucking waddled inside, and I'm assuming read it. Before I even got 5 minutes down the road, I had one of the other boys ringing me. Oh, you leaving, Shane? You leaving? I said, yep, fucking oath. I fucking had it. I gave him the option. I said, they're not going to get rid of her. I'm fucking done. And yeah, that's how. Well, that's the story of me leaving. I quit working there. I come to hear it was about a year later. Apparently she got fired herself. I don't know what for, but one of the other drivers there, I crossed paths with him, and they said, oh, you know that cow's gone? I said, no. I said, yeah, you should come back. I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty happy where I am. I said, I'm going all right. And I stayed at that place for, I think it was 4 years, until I started here. So the whole tolls thing was, like, I've been here for a year and a half. I was at the last place for 4 years, and then so it was like 5.5, 6 years ago I left toll. You know, I started there over 10 years ago. So this is a long-winded story. It goes back a bit of time, but that's sort of the story. Obviously there's more little stories to go in and out of there, like the whole take my holiday story. If you hadn't seen that holiday story, if you watched this far and you haven't seen me taking a holiday story and all that, I'll link it in the comments below. I'll link the video to that. It's me being petty at work, and it was 2 stories about toll. obviously there's more stories about everywhere you work, but that's the main gist of me starting and then why I left Toll. Bottom line, management. She was fucking hopeless, and like my superior, which was also her boss, this thing's just started beeping, so let me know what you thought of the intro anyway. Welcome viewers and welcome back subscribers. I think that'll work. So let me know, okay, before this cuts out, I'll quickly say it. Let me know the reason you've left a job. Let me know the reasons why you have quit or you've left a job. This is probably over an hour long. If you've watched this far, you are a fucking legend. Yeah, so if you've watched this far and you haven't already subscribed, I don't know why. I couldn't watch someone for 1 hour without clicking that subscribe button. Be like me. Subscribe. Bye.